All right, so if you've watched my channel, you know that I like a lot of the old cars, old Civics, the old GMs, just old vehicles in general. I got an old second gen, but I also like newer vehicles as well. But in this video, we're gonna go over why the GMT800, this is the Tahoe Z71, is ridiculously underrated. And that goes for, especially for SUV, that goes for the Tahoe, the Suburban, and really any trim package, but the Z71 in particular, when comparing to today's cars, is just grossly underrated. All right, so to start, this is a 2004 Tahoe Z71, small lift, 2 inches, 35-inch tires, and still rides, has great power, and really it's still modern when you look at it compared to today's vehicles, right? And the nice thing about these is right now you can pick these up for anywhere from $3,500 in this condition to $6,000–7,000, right? And brand new Tahoe right now is baseline without anything on it is 80 grand, and you can save so much money and have a much more reliable vehicle. Because if you research any of the new Tahoes and Suburbans, you know there's a lot of issues with those motors going on right now. And then with these, it either came with a 4.8 or the 5.3, and if you're feeling froggy, you could always swap it out to a 6-liter if you wanted more power than it already has. So just grossly underrated. Right, so with that, we're sitting in the cab right now. So the great thing about these is you can find them all over the place with 4-wheel drive. Power mirrors, power locks, power seats, heated seats, just so many options. Leather, captain's chairs, 3rd row, Bose sound system, just so many options. And this is, like I said, the Z71, so it's got a sunroof and it's got a TV back here. The one thing you might want to change out is going to be your head unit. This is a JVC, automatically syncs to my phone, GPS, the whole 9. But the features this thing has is everything you could possibly need comfort-wise if you were going to travel. Dual climate zone, just insane the amount of features in these old Tahoes and Suburbans. And like I said, that you're not going to find a more reliable SUV, especially a full-size SUV, than these old Chevys, right? These old Chevy Tahoes and Suburbans with the 4.8, the 5.3, and the 6.0 are the most reliable SUVs that you could probably buy. They 300,000 miles is like the minimum standard for how many miles you get on here. If you go on any GM forum right now and look at a newer vehicle, some people's engines are crapping out at 4,000 miles, 10,000 miles. Some made it 600 miles. Like they drove it and they were driving it home off the lot, and they made it to the first gas station and rod knock. Just insane the amount of issues. And there's some people that have 0 issues, right? Oil consumption is a big one on these newer ones. But with these, another great thing about them is they're cheap to maintain, right? You can go to any parts store and I can find spark plugs, water pump, any fluid this thing needs, right? Fan, radiator, spark plug wires, air filter, anything you need parts-wise, brakes, doesn't matter. You'll find it at a local parts store, and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. Like I'll tell you right now, if you buy one of these for $3,000 or $4,000 and you put $1,000 in it and you have a $5,000 vehicle, right? That's on average with today's standards of payments, you're literally saving a shit ton of money, because that $1,000 a month is the average payment. If you get to a high-end Z71 or RST, whatever they're called, models of the Tahoe and Suburban today, you might be spending $1,500. So you could literally pay one of these off and then never have to pay a payment again. And all your maintenance is going to be dirt cheap and mechanic friendly, right? So like if you're a do-it-yourself guy, this is probably one of the best, like mechanically, if you're mechanically inclined, this is one of the best vehicles to own, because you can pretty much do anything and everything on this vehicle. So like I said, aside from seating 7, good powertrain, cheap to buy, cheap to maintain, and just overall good looking vehicles, easy to modify if you want to go off-roading, a decent enough towing capacity, 7,000 pounds, you tow your small camper. This thing literally does anything and everything you could ever ask for in an SUV, and you can buy them at the price of a down payment for most of these other ones that you see, the brand new ones you see on the lot right now. So like I said, just a few reasons why I think the GMT800 is 100% underrated. And I think they're gonna get more popular. The more prices go up, the more unreliable vehicles are found to be, these are going to end up costing more. It's going to be these older vehicles that are known for reliability, known that they're easy to work on, known that they're cheap enough for parts, that are going to become more popular, and it's going to create kind of like a buzz again. And these prices are going to go up. It's kind of like the old 7.3 Fords, the old Silverados, and the old second gen and first gen Rams. Everyone's scooping them up because there's no emissions, there's no depth, they're easy to work on, and you can price one out and save yourself easily $75,000. So I hope you like this video. If you got any comments about your GMT800 or anything you own that's older, reliable, paid off, let me know. Like I said, I'm a big fan of these older vehicles, which is why I'm doing this one again. I've had this one for 11 years. It's been relatively flawless. But let me know what you have and let me know what you like about it. All right, we're back with another Tahoe update, and a pretty big one at that. So if you're looking at it right now, you can see there's E71 stocks. There's a lot bigger tire on there. So originally we had these right here, which are 20 by 10s with Venom Power 33 12.5 20s. And I just didn't like the way they looked. They weren't gonna work for what we want to do off-roading. So swapped them out. And then now we are sitting on, like I said, stock Z71s. These are the Maxxis Razor AT tires, and they are a 35 1250 17. And honestly, there's a lot of talk about whether 35s fit on a Tahoe, and if you have a 2-inch lift, will they fit? And there's a million questions about that. All right, so the truth is, on 35s, with a 2-inch lift, it's gonna fit fine. You will have to trim some of your plastic because that's where it's gonna rub. So I did trim this area up here on both sides, and then I'll have to trim this part just a little bit because when you go full lock, you just barely nicks this bottom piece. So we'll just do an angle cut and it'll be good to go. Other than that, it rides super smooth, especially compared to the 20 by 10s. And it looks, I mean, way better in my opinion. So super excited for this. Just so everyone tracks how much I've spent on this thing so far. So like I said, I've owned this thing for 12 years, had the lift on for probably 10 or 11 years, and came back, cleaned it up, changed the oil, went through it, just made sure everything's good. I still have some work to do, but wheels, $100 Facebook Marketplace, tires, $300 Facebook Marketplace. And then, like I said, running a 17-inch wheel will allow me to easily get a spare, so I can run a full-size spare, because that's pretty important to me when you're going off-roading and when you're towing and going on trips. So just the first big update, like I said, 35s on a Tahoe, still on 2-inch lift, but it looks killer in my opinion.